Alrighty then, and to continue this set on resources, as usual, I've gotten way ahead of myself and I haven't done some background stuff that I should have done. Before I got into those families, I expected I would have made another video regarding the flood. There's a lot of information there that probably should have been said before I got to this point, but this is all leading up to what's going on with the TI program, believe me, because that's the only focus that I have. It's just there's a lot of peripheral stuff that goes into it, and that's what this is. I was going to say one thing that I have found that they really enjoy doing is turning my sources against me, which is why I don't put up a lot of my sources and that kind of stuff. And I think I said it in my last video, I have seriously restricted my study since last year for a couple specific reasons. But there's another family that I want to describe to you, and I do not know how far this family goes back, but I do know it goes back a hell of a long ways. They, meaning the 666 Society, and those behind them, like the Rothschilds and all them, they sure seem to go for all this bloodline stuff. And they do a lot of incest and inbreeding and all that other kind of stuff to keep everything in the family. And there are quite a large number of families that do this to keep the wealth close and the control close and that kind of stuff. But if you believe in these bad families, then you must understand that there has to be the good ones too. There has to be the good bloodlines to oppose the bad bloodlines. And I have found one of these good bloodlines. And I have found that this good bloodline, this one specific one, has been keeping a record since time immemorial of the true history of the world. And it's like they have been keeping a true record of history. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I think of parking tickets, like parking tickets on the Rothschilds, parking tickets on on the DuPonts, parking tickets on all these guys, but they're not tickets. They're just, like FI cards or something. But they have been keeping record, very highly guarded, on the true history of, since they've been keeping records. And these people go back far enough where someone in their family named a country that has been here forever. But they love to use my sources against me, which is where I was at. And whenever I've recommended channels or people to others, these sources have been turned against me. And that kind of tells me, man, I must really be important to these guys for some reason. I got no clue why. I think I do now, but, I don't know. Or I'll give you an example. I used to tell everybody about a certain website, a truther website, that was just fantastic. And today, I know he's just another Alex Jones. He's controlled opposition. He is a Pied Piper. He puts out a bunch of good stuff so that those following him can be easily led astray. I'm going to get a lot deeper into this later. I'm just going to give you a brief overview. See, I know about this guy. I know where he came from. And because of that, it now calls into question for me the source that he came from. Because the source that he came from is very highly regarded. He's got a website that people from all over the world flock to, and this guy talks. And he advertises that he has taken 4 oaths in his life, and he rose up real high. He tells you 1 oath was for the Navy, 1 oath was for the Air Force, 1 oath was for the Marines, and he won't tell you what the 4th one is. So you're left to imagine what that might be. You think about it and all that, and you figure, oh, must be CIA, NSA, NRO. Nope. It's the 666 Society. Now, maybe this guy is like Trump. He got high enough to find out what it's all about and decided, that's it, I'm done. Or whatever. I don't know. All I know is because of this other guy, the one that I recommended to everybody, that calls into question the first guy. But the first guy, when he talks, very important people listen to him. Very important people listen to him. So, I don't know. All I know is I take everything he says now with a grain of salt. Because the second guy, I know, is a Pied Piper. And this is one reason I have refrained from putting up sources and that kind of stuff. So, but they enjoy doing this to every source that I let people know about. Same thing happened with War Drummer. I recommended War Drummer because he was putting out some excellent stuff, and after that, he changed everything and stopped doing it, and he went to a format that was totally nothing like he made his name on. And I guess he saw that wasn't working or something. I don't know. I just checked back. I keep an eye on people. And I checked back, and now he's back to doing his old stuff. So maybe he lost so many people, he's going back to what he did best. And, I don't know, because I haven't been paying attention to him for quite a while. But I see he's got some really good stuff up now. So, oh, and by the way, he calls himself the Deacon now. Another couple of things to Google if you're doing serious research into this kind of stuff is research a man named Sabbatai Zevi. I've known about him for a while, and that he was a very evil guy. Kind of like, I mean, he way worse than Aleister Crowley. And Aleister Crowley described demons that he met in person. So, let me just say something else. There's somebody I pay a lot of attention to, and this guy says, every time you hear all this satanic shit, think intelligence agency. He said the satanic stuff is distraction. Just think intelligence agency whenever you hear the satanic stuff. And this is something I'm being pulled back and forth with, because I'm seeing this, but then I remember what he said, and things kind of match up with what he says, but then I'm seeing this over here, and so I'm lost as far as that goes. But that's something I always keep in the back of my mind, in that whenever you hear this satanic stuff, or, you know, like, well, he said, think intelligence agency. So just thought I'd throw that in. Exactly like 100 years after Sabotage Zevi died, this other guy popped up, and his name was Jacob Frank. Jacob Frank, first of all, he said he was the reincarnation of Sabotage Zevi. Only he was way, way worse than Sabotage Zevi. Jacob Frank, his philosophy is we need to use up all of the evil in the world, because then the Messiah will return. And that was his philosophy. So he promoted doing every evil act, deed, as often as possible to use up all of the evil in the world to bring back the Messiah. That was his philosophy. This man was so evil that, I believe it was Turkey, somebody said, you got two choices. We're going to kill you right now, or you can convert to Islam. So he converted to Islam. Speaking of Islam, find out. Google 45th great-granddaughter of Muhammad. Anyway, he chose Islam. And what did he do? He brought his philosophies to Islam. But he did something else, and I just found this out recently, was that he teamed up. He teamed up with somebody. And that somebody was the Rothschilds and the sick society. I think it's enough said right there. Enough said right there. So anyway, there is so much to go through. They're using lots and lots and lots of people now. And now it's like when I go into a store, 25 people walk in with me. And one thing I really noticed was fries. They changed up in fries. Because I still go to every fries I run across. I love fries. Oh, man. Anyway, normally what they would do is Fry's is a huge store. And anybody that's going to follow me around the store is going to get, on camera 30 times. So what they did was they'd have somebody waiting up by the checkout counters. They got like 25 checkout counters. And they'd have somebody wait up front. And then when I went to finally go check out, their guy had run up next to me and start looking in my basket, see what I got, see what I'm buying, and that kind of stuff. Well, I started covering up everything, putting, the coupon booklet and that kind of stuff over it so they couldn't see what I was getting. And I knew they'd always be there. Well, they don't do that anymore. What they do now is they know what areas I go to, where I'm going to do my shopping at. Like, I'm not going to go look at, full-size computer cases. I'm not going to, go look at the refrigerators or anything like that. They know where I'm going to go. So they put people in those areas where I'm going to go at. And then when I go to the area, they make sure they're right next to me. And the other day, I went in and I got this Jello man in flip-flops standing there. And I buy a big old stack of SD cards. These micro SD cards. Let me see. You can't see it. Those. Shit. Let me see. Right. Anyway. Those micro SD cards. And I got a stack of these this size. And I got a handful of this size. And then I got a bunch of 128s. And then I got a couple of 256s, which is what these are. And these are so good. Let me see if you can see those. But they say 256 right on them. 256, maybe you can read that. Anyway. They're 256 gig, and they're good to back up all your stuff on, and then, you can put them anywhere. I told you about those little hide-a-key things. You can put stuff in there, but those are small enough. You can use something even smaller. If you search out a video called Occult Forces, Robert Zephyr, I think it's with an S. I can't remember if it's with an S or a Z. I'm sure it's an S. Robert Zephyr. And type in Occult Forces. There's a video by a man who was high in the parliament, and everything he did was like against the agenda of the 666 Society. So they decided, why don't we bring this guy in? So they convinced him to join. And he joined. And it was like from the first day, they were like, see if you can get this law passed to get our brother out of jail or prison. And see if you can get this law passed, and this will help this brother over here. And see if you can get this law passed, it'll help this brother over here, and this, that, and the other thing. And he said it was the most corrupt. Anyway, he quit. And when he quit, they stabbed him. And so he made a movie of his experience, and then they killed him. But that movie that he made is on Robert Zephyr's channel. It's called Robert Zephyr, and search for Occult Forces, something masonry. So I don't think it says initiation or anything like that, and it's not a real initiation anyway, because they don't show you standing there in your underwear and, you know, being towed around with a little rope and that kind of shit. But you'll get the idea of what he's trying to say in that video. And anyway, that's something else. There's a lot more. I mean, each individual thing, it just, you know, I'd be sitting here all day. I think that's going to do it right now, so that I can stay on track and keep it in line and that kind of stuff. So I think I'll quit this one right here, and hope that helps. Talk to you later. Bye.